many of you when we first released proposed regulations for the Roberti Act on May 30, 2014. During the public comment period, we received extensive comment. After a thorough review of the comments received, as well as recommendations from the Department of Housing and Community Development and the California Housing Finance Agency, Caltrans decided to withdraw the May 30, 2014 proposed regulations and resubmit regulations with significant changes that reflect the input received through the public process. The new proposed regulations governing sales of homes in the State Route 710 corridor will be posted early this afternoon on the Caltrans headquarters website, www.dot.gov/regulations.htm, and on the Caltrans District 7 website, www.dot.gov/dist/business/710 sales. This will begin a new 45-day public comment period. Interested persons may submit written comments relevant to the proposed regulatory action to Caltrans through email, fax, or letter, or they may participate in a public hearing. This information is available on our website. The written comment period closes at 5 p.m. on April 13th, 2015. Caltrans will only consider written comments received by that time. Caltrans will also hold evening hearings open to the public to take comments on the proposed regulations on April 20 at the Pasadena Convention Center and on April 21st at California State University, Los Angeles. Based on comments received at those hearings and the written comments, we will revise the proposed regulations and then submit the revised regulations to the Office of Administrative Law with anticipated release of the final regulations this fall. There are three key changes from the original proposed regulations that I would like to bring to your attention today. First, instead of a 30-year director deed restriction, a different mechanism is proposed in order to expand opportunities for affordable buyers to gain equity. This restriction was removed in response to public input, in particular, concerns about the lack of opportunities for affordable buyers to gain equity. Under the new proposed regulations, if a property is sold at affordable price and resold at fair market value, owner will gain 20% of the net appreciation after each year they have stayed in the home. For property sold at fair market value before the first full year of occupancy, the owner will receive none of the net appreciation. For a property sold after 1 year, the owner will receive 20% of the net appreciation, after 2 years 40%, etc. After 5 years of occupancy, the owner will receive 100% of the net appreciation. Any remaining net appreciation and all of the net equity will go into the newly created Affordable Housing Trust account at the California Housing Finance Agency. These funds will be used to meet the housing needs of persons and families of low and moderate income in Pasadena, South Pasadena, Alhambra, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, and the 90032 postal zip code, unless otherwise restricted to a particular city in accordance with state law. Second, current tenants who do not qualify as affordable buyers under this program now would have the opportunity to purchase from a housing-related organization, where applicable, rather than potentially not having an option to purchase at all. This will be done through a double escrow process. which the housing-related entity would purchase the property from the state, and on the same day that escrow closes on that sale, the tenant would then purchase the property from the housing-related entity. Third, current tenants who choose not to purchase may still have an opportunity to remain in their residence. If the property is purchased by a housing-related entity, the tenant has the first right of occupancy. All of the changes in the new proposed regulations are a result of public input, as well as recommendations from the Department of Housing and Community Development and the California Housing Finance Agency. Current law provides the order for who may purchase single-family homes and multifamily homes. The regulations are consistent with current law on this issue. Let me provide a brief update on the timeline for the sale of Caltrans-owned properties in the 710 corridor. Caltrans has 460 properties in the 710 corridor. We anticipate selling homes in phases. We will begin the process by selling 10 unimproved vacant lots that do not fall under the Roberti law. These properties do not need the Roberti regulations to be in place for Caltrans to sell them, so Caltrans does not need to wait for these regulations to be finalized. Once these regulations are adopted, an additional 20 non-historical homes that are not impacted by the project alternatives will be available to sell. A negative environmental declaration was completed for these properties in January 2015. The remaining 22 historical homes that are not impacted by the project alternatives will be available to sell after an environmental impact report and the regulations are finalized. The environmental impact report is being prepared and is expected to be completed in 2015. Of the remaining 400 plus properties, most fall into the second phase of sales, which are properties that are within the scope of the remaining project alternatives but can still be sold. The last phase of properties to be sold will be a handful of properties remaining after the construction of the project. Again, the environmental impact report that will determine these properties is expected to be completed in 2015. During this regulation development and comment period, District 7 will have information on our website, www.dot.ca.gov/CIST07/business/710 and maintain a telephone line at 213-897-8184, staffed with bilingual staff to assist the public in reviewing their purchase options. The department is sending information regarding the process and the regulations to tenants. Caltrans is committed to keeping the public informed as the sales process moves forward. Any comments on the regulations can be emailed to affordable_sales_program@dot.ca.gov or faxed to 916-654-6378. They can also be mailed to Jennifer Loudon, Lowden, Assistant Chief, Division of Right-of-Way and Land Surveys, Attention, Affordable Sales Program, California Department of Transportation, 1120N, N as in Nancy, Street, Mail Station 37, Sacramento, California, 95814. Caltrans wants this process to be as transparent and inclusive as possible, so we appreciate the public's input and your support as we develop these regulations. Thank you for your interest in this process and for participating today. Are there any questions?
To ask a question, press *1. and record your name when prompted. To withdraw your question, press star 2. Once again, making sure your phone is unmuted, press star 1 and record your name. One moment for our first question. And our first question comes from Lynn Miller. Your line is open.
Hi, this is Lynn Miller speaking. I was just wondering, you went so fast with all the addresses that I don't take shorthand and I'm old. Is this all going to be in the information that's coming out in the mail?
It is. It's also on our website, and I can also repeat anything that you didn't quite capture.
Lost me after the first version letters. That's okay, as long as it's going to be coming out.
It is.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, of course.
All right. Bye.
And our next question comes from Christopher Sutton. Your line is open.
Yes. The categories, the new category 2 and 3 regarding current tenants purchasing via a housing-related organization or being able to stay in the unit, does that apply to tenants whose income is over 150% of median, as described in Section 54237 of the Roberti Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. That's my question.
Okay.
And our next question comes from Lynn Bryan. Your line is open.
Yes, this is Lynn Bryan, and I have a clarification on your key change number 1 regarding the 5 years, 100% at that point. But does that mean that your 30-year covenants are off completely on anyone who qualifies, and then we go into these different areas?
That's correct.
Thank you.
And I show no further questions.
Thank you all for participating.
That concludes today's conference. One moment, please. Sir, we actually have some follow-up questions. Does time permit?
Yes, it does.
My apologies. Christopher Sutton with the follow-up question. Your line is open.
Yes. As to the new restriction, the 5-year, the 20%, will any of the tenants who purchased their properties in the past between 1996 and 2006 and are subject to the 30-year covenants under those transactions, will there be an opportunity for them to amend those transactions to come under this new program?
Not that I'm aware of, but I'll note that as a question.
I believe there's approximately 32 people in that category of or less maybe who purchased between 1996 and 2006. That's a comment, not a question. But okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have a question from Joanne Knuckles. Your line is open.
Hi. I have a question about, I think it was towards the end of your statement, about when the project is built. So since they haven't decided what the project is, or if there is going to be a project, could you amend that statement to if a project is built?
Accepted. I take your comment. Yeah.
Okay, and also, speaking of the project or not, the EIR pertaining to the project, is that going to be released today also?
I don't have that with me.
Okay, it was supposed to be, but we haven't heard anything.
Yes, I don't know.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
No further questions in the queue. Oh, please wait. We have another question coming. My apologies.
Okay.
And this follow-up question is from Lynn Bryan. Your line is open.
Yes, just to follow up on the EIR for the houses being completed in 2015. For the people in this large group, the regulations have to be completed and the EIR has to be completed. Is there any estimate on the timeline when these people will be able to purchase homes?
As I stated, it'll be after those two are done. It'll be in 2015, and we will keep you updated on the website and as you call in, as we get further
specificity on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And I show no further questions. And there still are no further questions. And I'll turn the conference back over to you for the close.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments, questions, and your participation, and we look forward to working with you as we continue to develop the regulations. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
That concludes today's conference. Thank you for your participation. All participants may now disconnect.